Southwest Florida sun. We talk cars every week until the deals are done. Pre-owned market news, Jeeps and more. Noble Auto Sales, that is what we are for. Noble Auto Report, week after week. The car news and deals that you need to see. Mike Jr. is here and he is bringing it strong. Noble Auto Sales, come on right along.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Noble Auto Report from Noble Auto Sales in Englewood, Florida. My name is Mike Jr. Here today is just me. Usually we have my dad, Mike Sr. on the show if this is your first time listening, and we also have Neely, who is working here in the office with us and also sells cars as well. So they're both busy today. Times are busy with Noble Auto Sales. My dad is at an appointment and Neely is up working in Venice. But again, you get me. So we'll see how it goes on the solo podcast this week. I do have a pretty decent ability to just ramble, especially to myself. So, so we're going to see how that goes. If you are interested in anything related to car sales, specifically used car sales, even more specifically with Jeep Wranglers, this is a podcast for you. We're a Jeep specialist. We also sell anything else that pertains to used cars. We can find exactly what you're looking for. We are, like I said, located in Englewood, Florida, which is Southwest Florida, about an hour south of Tampa on the West Coast on the Gulf of Mexico. We won Best of Englewood in 2026, and we do that because we're true and honest to our word. It's kind of in our name, Noble. So if there's anything that you need, just let us know. You can find us at nobleautosalesllc.com. That'll be in the description of this video. Whether you're watching it on YouTube or you're listening to it on Spotify, there's a description that has our website address. We also have our phone number there, which is 941-22-NOBLE, which is 941-22-66253. If you take a look at our inventory on the website and you don't see anything that you're particularly looking for or nothing really stands out to you, we have a car finder program which has a form on the website. You can find it right there. It's easy to find in the form section. You fill it out, tell us exactly what you're looking for, and if you have a trade, you can tell us what your trade would potentially be. My dad has 40 years in the car industry. We go to multiple car sales a week. We have multiple connections with new car dealerships in the region where we pick up new car trade-ins all the time. So we have our ear to the ground. We'll be able to find exactly what you're looking for, and we'll be able to do it at, a great cost. So we have a wonderful reputation in the community. We won Best of Englewood in 2026. Our Google rating is 4.8. Come see why. So what we usually do on the show is we have a market report, and then we have a little bit of a car info series that we're doing. This week, we're going to be doing life after the purchase. First of all, we do how's the pre-owned market looking this week? Now, this is where I would normally turn it over to my father, and he would tell me, what he's seeing at the car auctions or what he's hearing from other business runners in the industry as far as any differences between last week or this month and last month and where prices might be headed, what are most popular vehicles. I can tell you that that is not my expertise, but I do have access to data. And I was looking around at the data on our website and seeing what the most popular search terms are in the region, specifically in the Southwest Florida region. I looked at the last 30 days, the last 60 days, and what were some of the most popular search terms for people looking for vehicles across a whole swath of different websites. And one of the most popular search terms was Chevrolet Corvette. Who knew that would be number one? That was by far the highest search term for people looking for used cars in the area. when you're getting away from kind of like vintagey, classic-y kind of cars, people were looking for newer Camaros, newer Volkswagen Jettas, looking for Ford F-150 was also up there on the list. And then you were able to also delineate the miles and the year. And it really seems like people are looking for a car that's maybe about 8 years old or so, something that's around actually at 100,000 miles. So people aren't really as nervous about the 100,000 mile mark anymore. We talk about that a lot on the podcast about how you shouldn't be. If it's well maintained, these cars these days are going to run hundreds of thousands of miles if you want to. That's why there's one of the reasons, I should say, why there's less new car trade-ins these days, because people are just driving them longer. And also, if the economy is kind of pinching people's pockets, then that's all the more reason for people to hold on to a vehicle if it's, if it's running well for them. If it's not broke, don't fix it. And the other interesting statistic that I saw outside of the miles and kind of the year was the price. So the price, people were looking to spend roughly between $10,000 and $15,000. The search term for prices over $15,000, that was actually higher than searching for vehicles that are less than $10,000, which I thought was very interesting. So it's not just that people want cheap cars. There's actually a sweet spot that sits above what a cheap car would be. And you can tell that by the fact that there's more searches for cars over $15,000, between 15 and 20, than there is from 5 to 10. So that's pretty cool, and that's the best I can do for the market report this week. I hope you all enjoy it. The next segment that we're going to talk about is the next step in our Buying a Car series, and this one is about life after the purchase. This is part 5 of our series. I'm not sure if there's going to be a part 6. I think this is going to cover pretty much everything. If you haven't listened to any of them, go check out our previous episodes because we do everything. We talk about preparing to even find the car that you want. And then when you find the car, finding a dealership or finding someone to purchase it from. And then how do you approach the first look at the car? And then how do you approach the test drive? And then how do you approach negotiation with the salesman or the dealership or whoever you're talking to? And now this week, you've already purchased the vehicle and you've driven it off the lot. What comes next? So the first thing that you really want to look for is everything having to do with the paperwork that you signed. So you just want to confirm with the dealer that they're handling your registration and they know the deadline at the DMV. That's very, very rudimentary. I think most dealers know the process for that, but it is something to take into consideration, especially if you have a temp tag and you haven't transferred your tag, that you have, in most cases, 30 days to get all of your paperwork done and get that new plate on your car. You want to watch out for the title in the mail and make sure again that you follow up if it's late. Sometimes you might get a paper title. Sometimes you might have a title on file. I know in Florida a lot of the times you can just have a title on file and then you can request it from the tax collector office whenever you're ready, or the DMV, whatever you want to call it in your area. Just make sure you know what version of the title you're going to get or that you requested. And of course, you want to keep copies of everything that you signed. I know here at Noble Auto Sales, we print out 2 copies of all the paperwork that you sign. One is for us that we both sign, and then there's 1 copy of those signed copies that we give to the customer so that they can hold on to. It's always a good idea to hold on to all that paperwork just in case you need it for any reason. Also, you want to make sure that the insurance policy is fully updated with the new vehicle. Make sure it's transferred over. I know a lot of times we have insurance policies from people that are snowbirds, so they do a lot of traveling. You just want to make sure that the insurance company that you use is valid in whatever state you purchased the vehicle in that you'll be driving the car in. So a lot of times people, let's say they're from Massachusetts and they have insurance with a company up there. You just want to make sure that the insurance is going to be good for Florida if you're going to be driving the car in Florida. So, make sure to cancel or transfer the coverage from the old car to the new one, unless you're keeping the old one as well. Yeah, that's personal indifference, I guess, to whatever situation you're in. And you just want to make sure that the deductibles and the coverage that you have double check that they're right for the new vehicle that you've purchased. And ultimately, you want to get to know the car. You want to read the owner's manual, especially the maintenance schedule, kind of compare that with the Carfax that you have or should have from the vehicle. Make sure that anything that's coming up, you just take care of. You want to give the car the best opportunity that it has to give you happiness instead of struggles and constant trips to the mechanic because you haven't taken care of the maintenance that it needs to be done. So regular oil changes, get the serpentine belt looked at, make sure that the tires are good, make sure the brake pads are good, make sure the timing belt, the time to do that is it's handled appropriately. Just make sure that the vehicle is where it needs to be right as you get the car. And sometimes the dealer that you purchase it from is taking care of all that before you bought it. Sometimes that's on the buyer to take care of. It's all individual circumstance. So just make sure that the vehicle is good to go. And when you get to that first service, you just want to check, obviously, to see when the oil was last changed and schedule it accordingly. Look up, you can also look up any of the last recalls that might be on the NHTSA website. So that's the Transit Authority website. You can go there, you can look up your vehicle, the year and all that, and you might get something on there that hits your year, make, and model, and you can schedule an appointment with the new car dealership to have that done. Obviously, those are free of charge, so that's always good to check out. And one thing is, even if the Carfax looks great, you just don't want to assume that the previous owner stayed on top of maintenance. If you get a car, the first thing that you want to do is take the responsibility into your own hands and make sure that everything is running and driving the way that you want. You want to make sure that the maintenance is where it needs to be for you, and don't just assume that because you just bought a car that the oil was changed 2 days before you bought it, and then you drive it for 3 months, and meanwhile it's bad oil or it's running low and you run into engine problems because you didn't just get the first wave of maintenance done when you bought it. So in the big picture, you just want to give yourself a few weeks before you kind of judge your purchase. Get used to the car, drive it, feel how it fits into your life. Sometimes people get buyer's remorse. That's normal, especially if you're, purchasing something that's kind of a bigger ticket item. Everybody's financial situation is different, but, you're spending thousands and thousands of dollars. Sometimes those decisions can be spur of the moment when you're at a dealership, and maybe a couple weeks later, you think, oh man, I don't know if I should have done that. But that is completely normal. Everybody needs a new car, though, at some point. And if you go through the process of, getting a new car and purchasing it and driving it around, you did it for a reason. So don't be too hard on yourself, and everything happens for a reason. We just want to be a source of light, I guess, here at Noble Auto Sales, that your experience when you purchase a vehicle is a great one, that you walk away feeling like it wasn't work at all, it wasn't difficult, that you had a good time, you met some good people even along the way. And if there's anything that you ever need after the vehicle is purchased, even if you haven't even purchased the vehicle from us, give us a call. We have access to so many people in the industry. We can get cheap deals on parts and service, and we love to do that. So it's a win-win for both of us. You get service done for cheap. We also get the ability to expand our presence in the industry and leave a good taste in people's mouths so that, maybe in the future they do buy a car from us. So I do have a quick news item that I want to talk about this week, and we'll talk about bigger Jeep news next week with everybody back on the podcast. But to celebrate Jeep's 85th anniversary, the Detroit Free Press was reporting that at the River at the Renaissance Center in downtown Detroit, this is actually from last week, they had an 85-year anniversary celebration for the Jeep Corporation. What happened was there was a company called Stellantis. They have headquarters in Windsor, which is right across from Detroit. They rolled out a clutch of its vehicles ranging from old military kind of style Jeeps to the newest, most powerful kind of vehicles that you can find. And they also gave away commemorative rubber duckies. But the interesting part of it is that the centerpiece of the ducks, which they couldn't give away, of course, was a 40-foot tall yellow rubber duck that Jeep floated out onto the Detroit River. So this was to celebrate 85 years of Jeep, and also kind of this widespread trend over the past couple years of Jeep ducking. So it was pretty cool. I'm going to try and put a picture of it on the YouTube video. If you're watching it there, just look at the screen. You'll see it. It's just a giant, giant rubber duck. And it was just sitting in the water, and it was pretty cool. So if nobody is really familiar with ducking, most people are at this point. Basically, you just want to keep a few rubber ducks in your Jeep. If you see another Jeep out in the wild, you want to leave one of the rubber ducks on the door handle or the windshield or the mirror or somewhere on the other person's car. You want to make sure that they see it, because if they just drive away and the rubber duck just lands on the ground, that's kind of sad. So want to put it somewhere where at least they'll see it. And then if you don't drive a Jeep, or if you even if you do, you're driving around, you'll see Jeeps that are going down the road that'll have all these rubber ducks in their dashboard driving down the road. The CEO for Stellantis was talking about how some of them are just completely out of hand. You can see that sometimes when they're turning the corner, they turn the corner so hard all these rubber ducks fly off that dashboard all over the place. And but I think a lot of people these days find different ways to secure them to the dashboard so that simple turning doesn't knock them off the dashboard. But it's pretty cool, and if you do get the chance to see that, take a look. Again, it was the Detroit Free Press from July 15th. There's a 40-foot giant yellow rubber duck in the I'm trying to think. I forget which lake is outside of Detroit. I'm pretty sure it's Lake Michigan. I could be wrong though. I believe the duck was in Lake Michigan. And yeah, I'm looking at it right now. But that's going to be all for this week. We're going to talk more about upcoming Jeep releases next week. We're also going to start a new series instead of the car buying series. Unless there's more to talk about there, I'll think about it. But you can find us on social media. Absolutely, 100%. You're listening to it right now, which is basically social media on Spotify and YouTube. We're also on Facebook and TikTok and Instagram, and you can find us at Noble Auto Sales, at Noble Auto Sales on all of those. We're also on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it these days, the social media platform of Mr. Elon Musk, and that is at Noble Auto Sales as well. So we have daily content. It goes out across all of them. And really, I think the social media content is working well. We're getting dozens of new visitors, new unique visitors to our website every single day. I've been checking the analytics on that, so that's great. Again, if you want to check out our inventory, do so. We have about 20 some odd cars and trucks in stock right now. If you don't see what we have, if you don't see what you want in what we have, make sure to not get discouraged. There is a car finder program that we have. You put down a deposit, tell us exactly what you're looking for, and I'm telling you, in almost all cases, we will be able to find it probably within a week or two. Most likely about a week or less, depending on when we're going to the different sales. So yeah, make sure to check us out. We will be back next Monday, and I'll be back with Neely and Mike Sr., at least one of them. I hope that you enjoyed this solo podcast, episode number 6 for the Noble Auto Report. Again, Noble Auto Sales. I hope that you have a great weekend, and I hope you have a great week next week. Take care out there.